need a pun, I need a pun, I need a pun. They're gonna get mad if I don't have a pun. I need a pun, I need a pun, I need. A prisoner's favorite punctuation mark is a period. It marks the end of his sentence. So, today I'm doing a book, Today I'm doing a video about my book don'ts. So now we will just sit here and complain for a solid 5 or 10 minutes. I've divided this up into 4 categories, which is covers, titles, the plot, and the characters. Starting with covers, one thing that I hate that people do with book covers is whenever they change the spines. And I don't mean like they change the covers, I mean the spines. Cause I don't care if they change a cover but they have the spine like the same. We're all good. But in the Eve trilogy, the first book has black font on the spine. The other 2 books in the series, white font. What I also hate on covers is that whenever they use the human faces on covers, I want my own imagery of this character. I don't need your help. I don't. I understand if it's a movie cover, but I still hate movie covers, so My last pet peeve about the covers is, this is more of an adult thing, but I see it quite a lot, and I'm just like, really? Whenever they put the author's name bigger than the actual title, like, what book are you reading? Oh, this. I didn't know there was a book called John Green. Is it an autobiography? No, it's just... So, I don't know why that annoys me, but it does. It might be because this title's really long, but I've seen this on multiple occasions with the author like, here I am, then the book title just in the corner being like, here I am. Next is titles of a book, and this one I don't have very many pet peeves with, but we shall embark through this journey anyway. First thing I don't like in titles of books is if they're extremely long. I don't want to have to say a sentence of a book title like Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Like, yes, that's what the book is about, and it was a good book, but I don't want to have to type out every time I'm telling someone what the book is, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. And even the abbreviation is hard to understand. I just wish it was shorter. Can we just stick with 1 or 2 words? Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I'm trying to find more books that have long titles. Oh, like The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. Don't need to type all that out if I'm trying to recommend it to someone. The second thing I hate in book titles is profanity, and I don't buy books if they have profanity in the title. I know if I read a book with profanity in the title, it's going to be a very profane book, and that's not something that I think is necessary in literature. You can get a point across in a book without having to be like, yeah, F this, F that, F yeah. Stop. I also hate when titles are unrelated to the novel. Good example, which is kind of a lame example, is the Twilight series. Literally, he says the word Twilight once in Twilight, and I have no idea how she got the rest of the titles. I know there's probably some kind of symbolism, but I mean, really, it's just one example of many of me not understanding the relevance. Now for my problems about plots. The first thing that I hate about some plots is whenever a romance is literally shoved in your face. The most recent example of this I can think of, and this is the reason why I wrote that down, because it just happened to me the other night. I was reading Graceling, and in Graceling, it's like a 500-page book. It's very action-packed. The chick is like a trained, literally born to kill people, so she's like killing all these dudes and being all nice and awesome. Not nice, just awesome. And then she meets a guy, and the guy's trying to fight, so they're fighting, they're traveling across the country and fighting, and then, literally, in a span of a paragraph, she's like, oh my god, I'm in love with him. And then they start to have their romance, and it's so quick, I was like, stop, stop, stop. If you are my friend on Goodreads, you saw that I had kind of a panic attack because I was like, it was so good. Why do we need that right now? And it just, I ranted to my friend at like 2 a.m. Haley, if you're watching this, hiss, growl, squat. I'm so mad. The other thing that I don't like about some plots, this is more of a writing thing, but I didn't have a writing category, therefore I'm putting it here. It's whenever they use foreign language in, what's it called, dialogue, but they don't explain what the foreign language is talking about. What, I just phrased that wrong. It doesn't explain what they just said. So like in Perfect Chemistry, they would speak Spanish a lot, and I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Oh, that's a curse word in Spanish, okay. And then same with The Book Thief, I'm like, what does that mean? Oh, okay, and I can understand when it's cursing, but if you're giving us half a sentence in German or Spanish and then you don't tell me what it is, it takes so much time out of my day to go to Google, translate it, and then I'm sitting here, like, even Google Translate isn't accurate sometimes. This is just the things I have to go through to read The Book Thief is torturous. If you're wondering why I haven't gotten through The Book Thief, it's because I've spent half of my life trying to decode the German. And my last category is the character flaws, and I can talk extensively about this. One of my hugest pet peeves about characters in books is whenever they get like shot or stabbed or something, and then the injury lasts like 5 pages. They're like, ow, my arm, it was sore, then we kept going. Like, no, if you're gonna hurt your arm is gonna be unusable. You can't scale a mountain after getting your arm chopped off. Like, leg injuries are really common, and they're like, I limped through a forest and I swam the whole Atlantic Ocean. It's like, you wouldn't be able to do that, I'm pretty sure. The second worst, okay, actually I think this is my #1 thing ever. When we have a love triangle in a book, this is, I always try and make a triangle, but I can't. That's like the most pathetic triangle I've ever, okay, I'm not gonna do that. Whenever there's a love triangle, and then obviously there's like 2 people, because one guy is preferred and the chick is like, I love you. But then the other guy is trying to convince the girl to love him, and so he's like, I know you love me deep down, you would just want to admit it to yourself. And I think I just directly stole a quote from Twilight, but literally, that makes me so angry. This is the #1 reason why I can't stand Jacob Black, is because he's like, you love me. You just don't know you love me. And that might be true, but also, who are you to say that? This is more characters than just Jacob have done this, but it just annoys me so much. If a guy pulls that, automatically I'm like, no, leave. If she loved you, she would tell you. You need to calm yourself. This kind of goes along with that, but it's a bit different. Again, I'm going to keep using Twilight as an example because this is mostly where I've seen it, but it's whenever we have our 2 characters who are the love interests, and then the other guy being like, but I love you. And then she ends up being like, I don't want a relationship with you, but I want to be best friends with you. So it's this whole thing about like, I love you, but not enough, but don't leave me, but keep sitting here and watching me with my boyfriend. And the only 2 series I can think of that this has occurred is the Twilight series and the Matched series. I hated the Matched series mostly because she friend-zoned Xander like that, and it's really painful to watch, it's really rude, it's just degrading to the character, and I don't like it. That's so mean! And lastly is another character issue that I have, which is kind of immature and doesn't matter, but I'm gonna voice it anyway. When minors and people who are not minors are the 2 love interests, this is so stupid, I don't know why I'm talking about this. But I know like the world is ending and we're the last 2 humans on Earth, but for the love of God, Jared and Melanie, if you're 26 and she's 17, don't do it. Warner and Juliet, 17 and 19, don't do it. It's not something that makes me like disgusted at them or anything, but it's in the back of my mind like, that's illegal. And I need to cut that out, but I'm not going to. So that was my list of complaints. I will bet you a lot of money that right after I post this, I will think of more. So if you want to see a part 2 of this video, or perhaps a thing about things that I do like, I'd be happy to post that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. I was licking my lips as I went to do a kiss, and I think I just licked my hand.